Coming up in News Hour, Justice Sophia Ekufu sworn in as Chief Justice.
Central Bank urges commercial banks. You are live on GTV and GBC24. Welcome to our primetime news here in Accra. My name is Evan Sachampon.
And my name is Akpene Avo Ajaja. Thank you so much for joining us for the news. Clement Sam is our signer for News Hour this evening. In the details, ahead of the swearing-in ceremony, Parliament approved Mrs. Justice Sophia Ekufu as the new Chief Justice of the country.
Ado nominated a new Chief Justice in accordance with Article 144, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution. Consequently, her nomination was referred to the Appointment Committee of Parliament pursuant to Order 172, Clause 4 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The newest Chief Justice did not only go through a 5-hour vetting by the committee, but also proved to the members that she was ready to take over and perform her role as the Chief Justice.
We had cause to look at some of her selected judgment, and she has demonstrated over the period that she's uncompromising and very independent and agile in her thought when she takes a position.
No, the nominee has a rich knowledge on social legislation. It is my expectation and my hope that she is going to push the frontiers of social legislation and the human rights regime in this country.
When you are CJ, you are not just looking at legal issues. You are also managing an array of courts. And she proved from the experience that she has had in other places, in the corporate world, that she will be capable of managing the court system in Ghana.
We at the committee observed her high standard of competence, integrity, forthrightness, independence of thought, astuteness, and in-depth application of the law, selflessness, and we believe that the nominee, her ladyship, Justice Sophia Abna Boafua Ekufu, is more capable and experienced for the job.
The Speaker of Parliament announced the approval of the nominee by the House.
The House has accordingly approved the nomination of Justice Sophia Ekufu, Justice of the Supreme Court, for appointment as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana in accordance with Article 144 of the Constitution.
Justice Sophia Ekufu holds a master's in law from the Harvard University in the U.S. and has been working as a Justice of the Supreme Court for over 20 years.
Ghana's new Chief Justice officially took office on Monday following a swearing-in ceremony at the banquet hall of the State House in Accra. Mrs. Justice Sophia Ekufu is the second woman to occupy the position and was sworn into office by the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, as the country's 12th Chief Justice since independence in 1957. Edward Nyakon reports.
The inception of the Fourth Republic has seen 5 Chief Justices taking over the highest office on the bench. They are Mr. Justice Isaac Aban, Mr. Justice Kwame Redu, Mr. Justice George Akwa, Mrs. Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, and now Madam Justice Sophia Abena Boafo Ekufu. Mrs. Justice Theodora Georgina Wood retired on the 9th of June this year after 40 years in public office. Her tenure witnessed reforms and moves to restore confidence in the judiciary. Mrs. Justice Georgina Theodora Wood is the first Chief Justice under the Fourth Republic to swear into office 3 presidents, including late Professor John Evans Atta Mills, John Dramani Mahama, and Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. This new Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Ekufu, was appointed to the Supreme Court by former President Jerry John Rawlings in 1995, together with Mr. Justice William Atugugba. Justice Sophia Ekufu was a member of the Governing Committee of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute. In 2006, she was elected as one of the first judges of the African Court on Human and People's Rights and was re-elected as president of the court in 2014. The president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, in appointing Justice Sophia Ekufu, described her as a woman with a lot of experience, disciplined, and high sense of integrity. The swearing ceremony was witnessed by former President Jerry John Rawlings and John Ejekun Kufuor and leaders of some of the country's political parties. President Akufo-Addo led her to take 3 oaths: the oath of allegiance, the oath of judiciary, and the oath of secrecy. He charged her to ensure that justice is delivered without fear or favor.
I am confident that Justice Sophia Abna-Boafua Akufo will be an effective leader of the judiciary and will guard jealously its independence. She will bring honor to the judiciary and to our country. Her attributes, befitting the offspring of a prominent Presbyterian priest: hard work, discipline, capacity for detailed research, intimate knowledge of the law, independence of mind and spirit, honesty and integrity, deep-seated respect for the rule of law and for the best traditions of the legal profession, abiding belief in the sovereignty of Almighty God will serve her well. These are the characteristics which sustained her brilliant career as a lawyer and which propelled her to the notice of the first President of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, who appointed her to the Supreme Court on 30th November 1995, some 22 years ago. Justice Akufo since then has been one of the leading lights of the court, and her contribution to the court's work and the growth of our nation's jurisprudence has been extensive. She has justified the confidence reposed in her by President Rawlings. She has now to justify the confidence I am reposing in her as Chief Justice.
The president used the occasion to assure Ghanaians that his government will not tolerate lawlessness and impunity, and urged the law enforcement agency to act swiftly when the law is breached.
My government will not shield anyone found to have broken the laws of this country. Application of the laws of the land must occur, in the words of the judicial oath, without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and therefore without recourse to the political, religious, or ethnic affiliations of any citizen of the land. When you fall foul of the law, you must be dealt with accordingly, and the law enforcement agencies, including the judiciary, must ensure this is done. To persons perpetrating acts of lawlessness in the name of being members of the ruling party, let me make it clear to you that you will find no shield in my government from the law.
The new Chief Justice pledged to continue the good work started by her predecessor, including improving conditions of service of judges and magistrates, as well as giving facelift to courts across the country.
The judiciary has diligently worked for and obtained a large measure of independence. This is, however, made incomplete by the lack of financial independence. And that is an objective I would like to achieve during my tenure as Chief Justice. The vetting process last week brought into perspective several matters about the judiciary which the good people of Ghana have concerns. These include the integrity of the judiciary and the perception of corruption, political influence and other influences on the judiciary, the conditions of service of judges and magistrates, the infrastructure of the judicial service, that is, courtrooms and residences, delays in justice delivery, loss of confidence in the justice system, and the related issue of mob action, conduct of members of the bar, and legal education in Ghana. These are major issues I will address and find solutions to as I assume office.
The induction ceremony now over. Justice Sophia Akufo, in her position as the Chief Justice of Ghana, is the 4th highest person in the country after the President, the Vice President, and the Speaker of Parliament. Edward Nyako reporting for GBC24.
Journalists Association GJA is demanding an apology from the magistrate sitting on the JB Dankwa murder trial, Arit Nisemo, for gross disrespect to the press corps in open court when he ordered all journalists to leave the courtroom. The president of the GJA, Mr. Roland Afel Moni, says the judge's action is reprehensible and an affront to media freedom. The association is therefore demanding an apology from the judicial service and a full assurance that reporters will not be subjected to unnecessary hindrance and indignity in the coverage of the case. Let's move to the Upper West region now, and the World Day to Combat Desertification and Drought has been celebrated at Zero. This year's theme focused on highlighting methods of preventing desertification and recovering from drought.
In 1994, the United Nations set aside the 17th of June every year as World Day to combat desertification and drought. The aim is to raise awareness about drought and desertification and implementation of the United Nations Convention to combat desertification in countries that experience serious drought and desertification, particularly in Africa. In the Upper West region, where the day was celebrated, the regional minister, Mr. Suleiman Al-Hassan, said human activities such as overgrazing, indiscriminate felling of trees for charcoal burning, and sun winning are some of the causes of land degradation and desertification in the region,
which in turn threaten services such as water delivery and flow, quality regulation of water, carbon storage, biodiversity, and soil fertility.
A director at the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mr. Ben Asumeni, said Ghana is paying dearly for unsustainable management of its natural resources.
Recent estimates of the cost of environmental degradation suggest that the equivalent of 10% of GDP is lost annually through unsustainable management of the country's forests, land resources, wildlife and fisheries, and through health costs related to water supply and sanitation.
The acting executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Mr. John Puaman, said EPA is implementing programs in the north to combat deforestation. Trees were planted by some heads of department as part of activities to mark the day.
About 375 public sector institutions owe the Ashanti Regional Branch of the Ghana Water Company Limited in excess of 94 million cedis. Insolvency is said to be holding down the institutions from optimal performance.
The regional minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah, visited the three regional offices of the Ghana Water Company Limited, the Architectural and Engineering Service Limited, and the Ghana Grade Company. At the Ashanti South Regional Office of the GWCL, the Chief Manager, Maxwell Adoboaten, explained that the indebtedness of both public and private institutions affects the capacity of the company to deliver on its critical mandate, including water treatment, maintenance, and expansion works. At the Architectural and Engineering Service Limited, AESL, the regional consultant, Joseph Kwejoboama, said the company has competent professionals at its disposal, including architects, engineers, and surveyors. However, its consultancy services, as compared to the private sector, are low. Management therefore urged government to increase its contractual engagements with AESL to keep it competitive. At the Northern Network Service of Gridco, the director, Mr. Joseph Benjamin Taylor, mentioned the upgrade of Kumasi, Obuasi, Konongo, and Donkwao substations as some ongoing projects to ultimately improve reliable power supply to its customers, including the Electricity Company of Ghana. In an interview with GBC24, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah, emphasized that the tour had informed him about the various operations and challenges of the institutions, which must be addressed to enable them to deliver effectively on their mandate.
It's still News Hour live on GBC24 and GTV. The investiture of the new Chief Justice, Mrs. Justice Sophia Akuffo, has been hailed by some high-profile personalities in the country, including former President Jerry John Rawlings, as an indication that hard work and integrity pay.
I believe she'll try and build on what Mrs. Wood left behind.
I had the privilege of watching her when she was being vetted. I was very impressed, very knowledgeable, her composure and everything. The justice delivery system in the country is very important, and we hope God will bless her so that she's successful in all she's trying to do.
I am very confident that she will perform very well in her new role, advance the cause of jurisprudence in this country, enhance the dignity and respectability of the judiciary, and generally help the cause of democracy in this country.
She is a lawyer of great dexterity, great skill, great experience, great capacity. So I don't believe she will let herself down or let the seat that she now occupies down, and also not let the judiciary down. I think Ghanaians should have full confidence in her capacity to continue the good works of Georgina Wood and those who came before. We wish her well, and we expect great achievements while she's in office.
She has the experience. Her integrity is intact, and definitely she's going to perform. One of the things that I'm really happy about is the financial independence of the judiciary that she mentioned. You know, we have the three arms of the government, and they ought to be independent from one another so that in their sphere of jurisdiction, they'll be able to deliver.
The 2017 International Research Conference and Environmental and Energy Sustainability Challenges is underway in Accra. The two-day conference is deliberating on alternative sources of energy and utilization in Ghana and across sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan African economies have grown 5.3% per annum in the past decade, triggering a dramatic increase in energy needs. It is estimated that by 2040, about 75% of the total energy consumption in sub-Saharan Africa will be in urban areas, with its associated implications on sustainable development.
In order to escape total environmental degradation, ecosystem breakdown, and critical climate change extreme events, this estimated energy demand needs to be met by a mix of clean energy sources, such as solar, wind, and waste-to-energy resources, as well as significant promotion and adoption of energy efficiency initiatives at all levels of government.
Lifestyle changes are needed to fight climate change and ensure sustainable energy transitions in Africa, with an example being Kenya. The East African nation is Africa's first geothermal power producer and a leader in the use of solar power systems. This, according to Professor Daniel Aurora, is an initiative which countries must take a cue.
Urban environment is obviously complicated by the idea that first and foremost, our city managers and our city administration, as well as the states, need to pursue growth, economic growth, in order to improve the quality of life of everybody, the residents and all that. But this now is constrained by the fact that all that must be done within what we would really call the planetary limits, and not necessarily pushing high on carbon. We want to make sure that all that development happens at a low carbon intensity.
Countries are urged to adhere to SDG 7, that is, to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. The conference is under the theme, Strategies for Sustainable Energy Transitions in Urban Sub-Saharan Africa. The outcome will be published in an international journal. For GBC24, Shelley Annan reporting.
A high-powered government delegation led by the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, will leave the country for China tonight. The two countries will hold bilateral talks aimed at strengthening trade ties. The Minister for Information, Mr. Mustafa Hamid, announced this at a media briefing in Accra.
We all know that China has intervened in a lot of our development projects over the years. And, you know, trade between Ghana and China has ballooned, you know, from about $100 million around the year 2000 to about 5.9, almost $6 billion as we speak. We also know that China has become an important trading destination for Ghanaian businesses and so on. There are a number of projects that the Chinese government is sponsoring through the China Exim Bank, you know, in the road sector, in the railway sector. The railway sector, for example, it's an area that the Chinese people have shown great interest in. And you know that the establishment of the Ministry of Railways by President Akufo-Addo underlines his commitment to developing the rail sector as an alternative means of transportation and for ensuring that we get agricultural produce and so on to the ports in time. And so, as a government that has been in power these past few months, we thought that it is time for us to go and strengthen these relations and see how the two countries can strengthen their relations for the mutual benefit of all of us. So we thought that for such a high-powered delegation to leave Ghana and to go outside of Ghana for a whole week, it was important that we account for that, you know, to the Ghanaian people.
The immediate family of the new Chief Justice, Sophia Akuffo, could not hide their joy when she received the instrument of appointment from the president. The only daughters of Justice Sophia Akuffo, Viola and Sharon, described the ascension of their mom to the high office of the Chief Justice as inspiration to women. Edward Nyako reports.
Justice Sophia Akuffo, during her vetting in Parliament, said he hails from Akuapema Kropon in the Eastern region and Osu in the Greater Accra region. And during her investiture as Ghana's new Chief Justice, the family came to the State House in their numbers to support her. The family described her appointment to the high office on the bench as an honor and will go a long way to inspire the youth in the family to emulate her exploit. Her only child, Viola Paddy, was perhaps the most happiest among all the family members at the State House. Viola said her mom's elevation will encourage Ghanaian women to aim high.
She's always been a role model for me and for a lot of women and men. But I think that this is also another turn for young people in Ghana, especially the girls, to know that we can reach the heights we want to reach, so we should go for it.
And as a daughter, how do you feel?
I'm very proud of her, obviously.
Viola's stepsister, Sharon Paddy, was full of praise for her mother and described her as a role model.
I lived with her almost all my life, and she's been a very great inspiration in my life. She molded me into what I am today. I've always admired her strictness, her quality, and as she will say, integrity. And that is what she has built in us. And I think she's very, very, very well established to deliver.
Viola and Sharon, just like the other family members at the State House, said the task ahead of their mom, sister, cousin, and auntie is a difficult one. But are upbeat that with God's guidance, the 67-year-old Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Akuffo, will discharge her duty with distinction. Edward Nyakun reporting for GBC24.
We'll take a break at this point and return with some business news. Don't go away.
Good evening. My name is Marius Ogbete. Got the latest from the business space. Now, head of banking supervision at the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Raymond Amanfo, has urged commercial banks to reduce their interest rate relative to the drastic reduction in policy rate, even though the central bank has reduced the policy rate in the past 3 months from 25.5% to 22.5%. Interest rate charge on loans, according to Mr. Amanfo, is still high.
May I take this opportunity to urge all banks to consider the issue of high interest rates. We expect banks to respond favorably to the declining monetary policy rate and the treasury bill rate. This, I believe, will make credit more affordable, help boost productivity, and at the same time have a favorable effect on the non-performing loans structure of banks.
And still in banking, Heritage Bank, one of the latest additions to banking sector in Ghana, has opened its first branch at East Legon in Accra. The East Legon branch is one of the 10 to be opened by close of the year.
Heritage Bank, an indigenous Ghanaian bank, is one of the latest entrants into the Ghanaian banking industry. It has signaled its preparedness to revolutionize banking experience in Ghana with the launch of an ultra-modern flagship branch on the Lagos Avenue, East Legon. This will provide quality and affordable banking services to its customers within the Legon enclave and its surroundings. At the opening ceremony of the branch, the managing director of the bank, Mr. Patrick Edwin Fission, assured customers of quality banking services.
Our overarching aim is to create convenience for our customers and trigger widespread growth opportunities for individuals and businesses within the communities in which we serve. We are also on a mission to prove, by example, that it is possible to build a globally competitive business organization from the scratch right here in Ghana.
The head of banking supervision at the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Raymond Amanfo, lauded the board and management of Heritage Bank for picking a slot in this highly competitive sector.
I will congratulate the board, management, and staff of Heritage Bank for taking this bold step in expanding its horizon and bringing banking solutions to the doorstep of its clients.
With its headquarters at the airport city of Accra, the East Legon branch becomes its first branch. Heritage Bank hopes to open 9 more branches by the close of the year.
Let's go to the interbank market, where the pound sterling is selling at 5 cedis 53 pesos, the US dollar at 4 cedis 34 pesos, and the euro going for 4 cedis 84 pesos. We also bring you latest prices of major commodities on the international market. That was business. Good evening.
Welcome back to the news, and this is the health segment. The government says it intends to upgrade the Bono Ahafo Regional Hospital into a teaching hospital. that will be complemented by another teaching hospital in the pipeline under the auspices of the Sunyani-based University of Energy and Natural Resources. The regional minister, Mr. Kweku Treme, says the initiative will boost healthcare delivery in the region.
The Abnafo Regional Hospital in Sunyani was established in 1927, but it moved to its current premises in 2003 after the construction of an ultra-modern facility to replace its old structures. On his maiden visit to the facility since he assumed office as regional minister, Mr. Kweku Treme combed through the nook and crannies of the hospital to ascertain the functional status of the Abnafo Regional Hospital. He discovered during his facility tour that the hospital's main referral center needs urgent retooling. Other departments visited included the Central Sterilization, NICU, the ICU, the theaters, the pediatric wing, endoscopy unit, sewerage treatment plant, and the laundry. In all these departments, the regional minister was told that most of the equipment have not been replaced since the hospital started operations about 15 years ago. The badly needed medical equipment include incubators, phototherapy units, theater equipment like anesthetic machines and monitors, an incinerator, sterilization machines, washing machines, as well as dryers, among others. During an open forum with a cross-section of staff and management members of the hospital, the regional minister was told that beyond the money owed the facility by the NHRS, extra resources will be required to effectively retool the hospital. In a brief statement, the regional minister said the government intends to upgrade the facility into a teaching hospital to support other teaching hospitals to be developed under the auspices of the University of Energy and Natural Resources and some foreign investors.
We'll have to have very clear collaboration with other institutions to make it worthwhile. We have had the opportunity of talking to a group in France that is prepared to come and help us have that idea of upgrading the status to the medical hospital.
The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Bebrese, revealed that maternal deaths have declined at the facility. He said if the improvement is to be sustained, then care for expectant mothers must be improved at the district from where they are referred to the regional hospital.
There was no specialist in medicine, internal medicine. We only had a visiting specialist. There was nobody in pediatrics. But as we speak now, all the 4 major departments are headed by specialists, and they have other supporting specialists there. We have about medical officers, which we used not to have. Around some time, we had about 3 of them. Now we're talking about 15, 20 medical officers, which is very good to bridge the gap of service delivery.
From a high of 35 deaths in 2012, maternal deaths have reduced to 17 in 2015 and 15 as at last year.
Let's move to the Central Region now, where authorities of the College of Community Health Nursing at Winneba say field work as part of academic programs is lagging because the college has no vehicle to move students around. They call on stakeholders in the health sector to support the college with the needed infrastructure.
The role of community health nurses is key, especially in the rural communities. They are frontliners in communities, making sure the communities in which they operate are abreast with health issues and avoid preventable diseases. One of the colleges which perform these duties is the Winneba College of Community Health Nursing. Though the school continues to chalk some successes in provision of quality education and increased academic excellence over the years, the school lacks a means of transport to go to location and undertake field work. The lack of male hostel, inadequate staff residential accommodation, and computers for studies continue to be a challenge. According to the principal of the college, Madam Minnie Okai, the college will continue to give off its best and ensure that the country has the best of community health nurses. She called on stakeholders to support the school.
I charge our matriculants to strive hard to equip themselves with best practices suitable for excellent academic work in order to foster collaborative learning by emphasizing the reciprocal nature of knowledge and promoting respect for the diverse talents, beliefs, and backgrounds of members of this noble institution.
As an enrolled nursing training school, which is now the Winneba College of Community Health Nursing, the school was established by the Ministry of Health to train secondary school leavers basic nursing care to support professional nursing and health care delivery. It is now affiliated with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and offers diploma in community health nursing.
And that's it for the health side of the news, brought to you by kindness of FPAC and Vita. We'll be back shortly with some more stories on the international front. Do stay with us.
Good evening. Let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa, starting on a footballing note, and Deputy Black Stars captain Andrea Yu has given back to society by organizing a clinic for school children at the age of 12 and 15 years. The tour's theme, Pass On the Passion. The memorable exercise, which involved some selected schools in the Sakumono and Tema metropolis, was under the theme, Pass the Inspiration. It was aimed at inspiring the young ones to aspire higher in life. The West Ham United star, who is the brand ambassador of Unibank, was in the company of his Black Stars teammate John Boy and Mubarak Wakaso and former captain Stephen Appiah. They urged the young ones to aspire higher in life and be focused in whatever they do. The former Marseille and Swansea City influential player then played with the kids, an act expected to remain memorable with the kids for the rest of their lives.
I was lucky. Well, my dad was playing in the Black Stars, so I had a chance to meet the players more often, and maybe they will have the chance. But it was a similar life. I dreamt also to be where I am today. So if my dream became possible, their dream is also possible. So they should have the confidence and the desire to make it. And it shows that we Ghanaians should love our sports.
Been a long time I've seen something like this, so it was a great program and a great one there from Unibank.
I feel pleased, like I meet the kids and everything by advising them, talking to them and everything. Yeah.
Ayu is a great inspirational figure in Ghana, and his presence was a delight as the kids took turns to take photos with him and also asked him questions about his football career. Some of the participants shared their experience.
I hugged them. I didn't know what to do. It was so crazy. This is my first time.
We learned a lot from the players. They were very inspirational. They told us we should follow our dreams and that we should work hard, and anything is possible if you follow your dreams.
Ayu is the first African player to lift the prestigious FIFA Under-20 World Cup trophy in 2009 as the skipper of Ghana. Still staying with football, talking women's football now, where the Ghana Army women's football team are through to the next stage of the Sanford Women's World Clinic FA Cup competition. They beat Faith Ladies by goal to nil. One of the pairings for the round of 16 stages of the Sanford World Clinic Women's FA Cup competition was played at the grassless pitch at the Dansuma Liberty Professional Stadium. The reasons for the venue was a delay in getting access to the main field of the Karindorf Park. Faith Ladies in the red and black jerseys battled the Ghana Army team. The game was even until Faith Lady striker was shown a straight red card by referee Teresa Bremansu after an off-the-ball incident. GTV Sports gathered that the striker verbally abused the referee after disagreeing with the decision after she was brought down around the penalty area and a corner kick awarded instead of a free kick. That incident gave the away team, the Ghana Army, the chance to control the pace of the game. The first half ended goalless. Back from the break, Ghana Army striker Faustina Akpo connected from a cross to score what happened to be the only goal of the game on the 47th minute. Fit ladies were forced to defend throughout the encounter. The game ended 1-0. Captains shared their experience.
At the end of the day, we did our best. If the officiating were to go on well, like maybe, not even maybe, I'm sure say like would have taken the day back. We give glory to God.
All that we need now is support and prayers.
The result means Ghana Army have for the first time made it to the round of 8 in the Sanford World Clinic Women's FA Cup competition. Talking about FA Cup and the MTN FA Cup, a round of 16 matches took place across the country. Here are the results from the various league centers. And we go straight to the sheet now. We're at the Brekum Golden City Park. Brekum Chelsea won by 4-0. Nia Salamina also won by 2-0 against Steadfast FC. FC Samatex lost at home to Wild Stars by 2-1. And in Kumasi, Kotoko pipped Wasama United by 1-0. Mediama also pipped Elmina Sharks by 1-0. Accra Suffolk, who played away to Young Wise and Kaswa, won by 1-0. Amidaus Professionals beat High Flying Wafa by 1-0. And Lady Betty Professionals lost on penalties to Dambot FC by 9-8. Athletics now going straight to Stockholm, where Canadian sprint sensation Andre Degassi posted a wind-aided time of 9.69 seconds to win the 100-meter race at the Diamond League event in Stockholm. Let's wrap it up on a boxing note where Andre Ward has retained his WBO, WBA, and IBF light heavyweight titles. That's all for sports.
Evening, time for some arts news. My name is Valerie Dan. So this segment is brought to you kind courtesy Cowbell. Father's Day is a special day meant to celebrate the role of fathers in family life. A program dubbed A Japa Honors added a festive note to the special occasion with live band music and awards to fathers.
The maiden edition of Ijapa Honors witnessed live band performances from Blu-ray Band as they thrilled the audience with good music. It was part of Father's Day celebration. Some fathers who were present at the event spoke to the entertainment team of GBC24.
See, fathers, we like to do our work quietly. So it's nice for people to celebrate us on this day, but normally we just do our things quietly. We take care of the family, pay the bills, do the discipline. We just want to work quietly, but it's nice to be appreciated.
Well, I think Father's Day is a special day for fathers. And I think that it's something that should be celebrated just like the Mother's Day. But I think what has been happening is that over the years, people are not really paying much attention to fathers. But I think it's completely wrong because fathers do a lot.
3 years a father now, beautiful thing ever, painful, but fun. Fun. I think the beauty of it is like being called a father. Like, you never actually imagine when you get to that point, but then when you wake up in the morning, everybody's saying Happy Father's Day, you're like, wait, I'm a father.
The organizer of the event, Mrs. Irene Esian, said Ejapa Honors will continue to celebrate and award fathers every year.
Ejapa is a program to honor fathers, and it's going to be an annual event. We have a couple of fathers that we selected, those that have contributed to the nation building and has helped enormously in so many ways, not only helping their kids but other people's children, contributing in diverse areas.
2017 edition of the Ghana Garden and Flower Show has been launched in Accra. The event, which is organized annually by Strategic Communications Africa Limited, is slated for August 31 to September 4th.
Our show is a flagship activity aimed at harnessing our flora and fauna for national development and improved livelihoods. This year's edition, which is the 5th in a series, has the theme Flower Ghana, Grow Ghana. It is in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goal of eliminating poverty and hunger, as well as ensuring that people enjoy prosperous lives within a healthy and well-preserved environment. The Chief Executive of Strategic Communications Africa Limited, Ms. Esther Koba, said the program aims to develop the floriculture industry as a potential source of job creation. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, said Ghana can benefit from horticulture if the industry gets the needed attention. Activities for this year's event include a jazz night, fashion show, party in the park, and movie night, among others.
The segment was brought to you kind courtesy Cowbell.
Thanks for watching. See you same times tomorrow.
And that ends the news bulletin. Our news team returns at 10 with a late edition. Until then, have a good evening.
Good evening.